Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
The #1 national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Rifle for Katie, a 20-gauge auto for Christopher, a pair of engraved single-action 4440s for Mom, and an AR-15 for Grandma. Ho, ho, ho.
All the best to you and yours. From Tom Gresham's Gun Talk.
Ah, yes. That time of year again. Merry Christmas to you. Happy Hanukkah, if that applies. Welcome to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, because that's me, Tom Gresham, and we talk about guns around here because, well, it's what we do, all right? Oh, I had a great experience yesterday. Went out, we bought a new car for my wife. It's been 12 years. She's been driving her car. We tend to drive cars a long time. Almost couldn't get the car purchased. Went to 3 different dealerships. And each time, what do? They ask. I started to explain it. And now we're off to the races. No, not complaining about, well, those darn guns. Well, what kind of gun do you think I should get? I've been thinking about buying a gun. Or one guy says to my wife, tell you what, you just talk to the salesman. I need to see Tom for a minute. And he takes me out into the parking lot to his pickup truck, where he pulls out a Hill Country Rifles rifle and an Accuracy International rifle. And I mean, we're talking guns out in the parking lot. We're pulling rifles out of the cases. And it's like, holy cow, this is great. But gee, guys, kind of like to go through the whole process here, but it was fun. It was, every single car dealership we went to, that happened every single time. Just an amazing thing. So, it was kind of fun. Yeah, just interesting. It's that time of year when, of course, it's Christmas time. It's holiday season. A lot of people are going to be going hunting. A lot of people take a few days off during this time of year to go hunting. The seasons are open pretty much everywhere. We talk all the time. You hear me on every show all the time talking about safety. We talk about the 4 rules of gun safety. We talk about, every form of safety. You keep hearing me say, if you can't do it safely, it's not worth doing at all. Okay? Well, there's a very interesting book about hunter and hunting safety. Rod Slings is one of the authors. He joins us right now. The book is Blood on the Leaves. Rod, thank you for joining us here.
Good afternoon, Tom.
Now, Blood on the Leaves, Real Hunting Accident Investigations and Lessons in Hunting or Hunter Safety. These are actually short stories about actual accidents, how they came about, and how the investigations went and what was learned. I guess we probably ought to start off with have you explain to people what's your background.
Well, my background, I spent 35 years with the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. I retired as a law enforcement supervisor, and I had 6 conservation officers assigned to my unit, and we did the technical investigations when it came to boat crashes and hunting-related shootings and that kind of thing, and also the hunter education program.
Okay. Now, hunting accidents, if you start going way back, we talked 30, 40, 50 years ago, there was a time, was there not, when people would go almost like with a shrug, well, it's just an accident. But these days, I think maybe that approach is different and every accident is really investigated. Is that a fair assessment?
That's very fair. When we look back at society, and maybe we can even compare it to drunk driving. At one time, it was socially acceptable to get from maybe this Christmas party home, and now today it's not acceptable. But what with hunting related shootings, with those people that we tend to hunt with, are our family and our friends. And when something goes wrong out in the field, it's a devastating thing. And I think that the truth is something that everyone wants out of the situation. And so I think we've been able to capture the facts in a lot better forensic type style of science, and be able to report back and utilize the information that we gather in the field in prevention. And it gives focus to curriculum when you look at the hunter education programs across the country.
One of the things I know it's not talked about a lot, but I would like to at least touch on it before we go to the lessons learned deal, is that there is some percentage, I don't know what the percentage is, but there are some hunting with big quote, air quotes around it, accidents, which when investigated turn out not to be accidents at all, turn out to be actually premeditated. Fair enough?
Fair enough. We use a term in the business called recreational homicide, which is not used very often, but it is literally the masking of a recreational activity to create harm. And what we do when we're training wildlife officers, which I've had the great pleasure to help train over 1,000 wildlife officers across the country and in some foreign countries on how to utilize the methods and techniques to really turn every little stick over in the woods to figure it out. So that we look at it as this could be something horrendous, in other words, premeditated, and then work backwards from there.
All right, put that part aside. We're not talking about homicides here, but actual mistakes or accidents. My guess is they fall into a few categories, but one of the ones that's got to be a huge one is the mistaken for game accident.
That's right. It's identifying truly your target and what's beyond that target. And, knowing your own capabilities, what the capabilities are with your firearm. There's a lot that goes into being a responsible hunter, and we all want to make that quick, most humane harvest of that animal that we possibly can. And sometimes in the groups, like here in Iowa, we have groups of the hunting parties become quite large, and so looking at that, you need to have a plan and hunt your plan. And it is you have to have that meeting before you begin your hunt, and kind of stick with that and make sure you know where everybody's at. And one of the issues, shooting at running deer in our state seems to be the number one when it comes to a two-party hunting related incident. And that's you're so focused on that target that everything else becomes a blur.
Sure, you don't know what's behind it. Now, I want to go back to something you said, because it went by pretty quickly, and I think it's one of the most important things that people can do. And we've made it a part of everything we do. And you said have that meeting, but let me expand upon that, because we do a safety briefing. When a bunch of us go to the range, if it's not an organized range, but it's a place where we're the only ones there, we always have a safety briefing before we start. We also do a safety briefing when we are hunting and say, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to go from here. We're going to walk in a line. We're hunting pheasants. We're not going to shoot at low birds. We're not going to shoot at birds on the side. You can shoot straight up. And we kind of talk it through, and then we reinforce it as we hunt about not shooting at low birds and things like that. That's what you're talking about when you talk about having this meeting, right?
Absolutely. Communications beforehand is imperative to the beginning of any hunt. And again, you've got to think about those special people that we choose to hunt with. And one of our old directors said in a banquet speech one evening, he said, God only gives us 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most good hunting companions in our entire life. And, you think about that when you enter the field with those special people that you have, that you're going to share that experience with. You want to be safe. And, it's not standing in a circle while we're all loading the guns where we have the meeting. We have to have it before that. We kind of call that the circle of death. That,
yes.
Someone can easily, or even as I was checking licenses, where they'd hold the gun under one arm and reach for their wallet, and that muzzle got pointed right at my belly lots of times over the years. So, all of those things are absolutely important lessons.
Well, the book is titled Blood on the Leaves. The subtitle is Real Hunting Accident Investigations and Lessons in Hunter Safety. And I want to stress that what you get is when you look through this, you start reading these chapters, and they're really digestible and easy to read chapters, is you come away with, oh, that's how that accident happened. Oh, okay, I can see how that happened. And then you start processing things. Okay, this is what I need to do. Let me offer this and get your just take on this before we have to go. To me, the thing that I stress when I'm doing a pre-hunt briefing is no animal out there is worth endangering anybody. If we come away with nothing, we shoot absolutely no critters today, and everybody's safe, that's still a great day in the field.
Absolutely, Tom. You've hit it right on the head. The total experience. We have these different phases of each of us as we become a hunter and finally become truly that sportsman, where just being there is so important. But safety throughout all of our years has got to be the highest priority.
It absolutely is. I mean, look, the goal is not to get critters. The goal is for everybody to come back safe, and then we will get critters if we can. We'll have a good hunt. But safety is not just one of the things. It's really the only thing. The book is titled Blood on the Leaves, Real Hunting Accident Investigations and Lessons in Hunter Safety. Is available on Amazon. It is worth getting because it just makes you more aware. Rod, thank you for writing this. It is a super, super effort, and I think it's important for anybody who hunts to take a look at this thing. All right, got to run. 866-TALK-GUN. We're going to be back in just a second. Thank you, Rod.
Behind every revolution is a patriot. Just as this great country was founded on the ideals of many, the new Mossberg Patriot is the sum of all that came before it. Reliable, timeless, built to last, the classic American hunting rifle with a heritage forged over generations has come home. Mossberg, built rugged, proudly American.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
In the fight for gun rights, we need ammunition, intellectual ammunition. And no one does it better than researcher John Lott, author of More Guns, Less Crime. John created the Crime Prevention Research Center to counter the junk studies being done to push gun control. But he doesn't have the big bucks of billionaires like Michael Bloomberg. All he has is us. So I'm asking for your help. Go to crimeresearch.org and donate what you can. This research makes all the difference. People ask what they can do to help preserve the Second Amendment. Honestly, this is one of the best moves you can make. If you can give a lot, that's great, but even the cost of a box of ammo helps. We need John Lott's intellectual ammunition. Go to crimeresearch.org. It's time to step up. crimeresearch.org.
Experts agree that the low-range variable rifle scope is best for most situations. Now, Trijicon offers a stunning 1-to-6 power variable in the AccuPoint line. Featuring a battery-free illuminated reticle, superior glass clarity, and rugged construction, it's the one scope you need for hunting and competition. Long eye relief, aircraft-grade aluminum housing, manual brightness override. See the 1-to-6 power AccuPoint at Trijicon.com. Trijicon.com.
Join the Ruger 2 Million Gun Challenge and help donate $4 million to the NRA Institute for Legislative Action. The NRA ILA is committed to preserving the Second Amendment right of all law-abiding individuals to purchase, possess, and use firearms. And Ruger pledges to donate $2 for each new Ruger firearm sold between the 2015 and 2016 NRA annual meetings. Visit Ruger.com/2million to learn more and support the NRA ILA by buying a new Ruger firearm today.
Good grief, this is fun. Talking about guns. Yes, indeed you do. I was looking at those guns yesterday. The finance manager of the Ford dealership pulls me out there and says, look at these rifles I've got. And he's got some good rifles. Mike is just, he's a shooter. It's fun. And you meet more people that way. Don't hide the fact that you're a shooter and a gun owner and a hunter. Bring it up in conversation. You'll be amazed at how many people you will meet who will say, that's very cool. I've either wanted to be doing that or, I've been thinking about buying a gun or I'm a gun owner, or in some cases you'll find out they know a lot more about it than you do and you can learn from them. So don't hide this. Yeah, you are an ambassador, as Jim says. All right, line one, James, Eagle Point, Oregon. Hey, James.
Hello, Tom. Thank you for taking my call. It's very nice to talk with you.
Sure.
The reason I called today is you were talking about our coward and thief when he's come back to Hawaii about wanting to possibly put a ban on our semi-autos. And I feel that if he's going to do that, then with these cop shootings, maybe he should reduce them back to revolvers.
Well, I've often said, I get your point. I've often said, look, if you want to introduce something like, say smart gun technology and require that, well, let's do the test period and require it to be used by law enforcement for a 3 to 5 year period first. You'll notice that on all of these regulations, they always exempt the police from these. That's great for you guys, but not for us. Really? Okay. Well, I always say, look, when I'm out there, now I'm in a mall and a shooting starts, I don't have body armor on. And I don't have a radio connected to a whole bunch of people with guns who will come when I call for help, like a police officer does. All I have is me and whatever it is I put on my belt that day. Why would you want me to have less for protecting myself and my family? Well, actually, they don't want me to have less. They want me to have nothing. They really do. In their minds, it's perfectly okay for your wife and your children to be killed as long as you don't use a gun in self-defense. Line 2, Will's in Spokane, Washington. Hey, Will, welcome to Gun Talk.
Tom, thanks for having me on, and I want to wish everybody not only a Merry Christmas, but a God-filled Christmas for the season. And
thank you.
I wanted to thank you for the guests that you had on today. I was especially impressed with David Koppel, and I immediately downloaded the article that he wrote and sent it out to all the members of our club, the Inland Northwest
Excellent.
Action Shooters. And but I wanted to bring up a subject that I know that you're very aware of, and it's come to my attention 2 times now in the last couple of days on 2 talk shows and Fox News. And that is the idea that all of us that are concealed carry holders nationwide, that we would make a commitment to up our training and become force multipliers in the face of the jihadis that want to engage all the soft targets that are available to them.
It's a great point, and I love the way you put that. We're going to up our game. We're going to make a commitment to training. And I know there are people who are saying, oh, poo, you guys couldn't do anything. What do you think one person with a handgun could do against a terrorist with a rifle? Well, shoot them is the one thing we could do, because in a situation where they're shooting a bunch of people, their attention is directed somewhere. If it's not on you, it gives you an opportunity. At the very least, okay, let's just say at the very least, you complicate their situation. You get in the middle of their OODA loop and you break them out of, they think they're going to go in and just start shooting people. In their minds, at no point does it occur to them that anybody's going to shoot back. If you cause them to hesitate, to break off, to slow down, whatever, you're saving lives by the second. If you are able to put a bullet into these murdering SOBs, all the better. And people say, well, but what if? What if you hit the wrong person? People are getting shot every 5 seconds or every 3 seconds. It's ugly. It's messy. It's awful. And it would be terrible if you happen to hit a bystander. It's one of the reasons you train, to be good. But let's just take that worst case scenario. Well, if you do, it's still a case of people were going to die. And maybe you save lives anyway. Or here's how Ed Head at Gunsight put it.
You have the rest of your life to solve the problem. That could be measured in seconds, hours, decades. It's pretty much up to you.
There you go. It's pretty much up to you. You have the rest of your life to solve the problem. It could be seconds, minutes, hours. It's pretty much up to you. Line 3, Fuzzy's in Marshall, Texas. Hey, Fuzzy.
I'd called, I was asking the girl about the 1,300-yard shooting you did, and then I also told her that I was accidentally shot, within a reasonable range duck hunting back about 1980 on the Lake of the Pines in East Texas. And everything.
How bad was it?
What's that?
How bad? I mean, was it like Sprinkle was shot, or did you really get hammered?
No, I actually, it drew a little blood on my face and my neck. And I was out in front of this guy that showed up on the bank, and he didn't know I was out there. And I was probably 65, 70 yards in front of him. He probably shot me with number 6 or number 5 or 4 or something, back when we had Little League.
Right.
And it ended up to be a church. It ended up to be a church member that I went to church with that actually shot me, that didn't know I was out there, and we figured it out about 10 years later at a church dinner.
Well, isn't that something? Well, it points up the fact that one of the things I always tell people, look, if you are pulling the trigger on a gun, you must be wearing shooting glasses, period. Deer hunting, duck hunting, quail hunting, I don't care what you're doing, you have to be wearing protective eyewear. Never thought of that. I know you never thought of that. You could get mud in the barrel and the barrel blows up on you. Stuff happens. If you're handling a gun, if you're shooting a gun, you have to be wearing eye protection. So it could be sunglasses, could be clear glasses, could be whatever. Just to make it a part of, I don't do this. I don't hunt, I don't shoot guns without wearing eye protection. I won't do it, and I don't let anybody around me do any shooting without that.
You're listening to Gun Talk, now on more than 200 great radio stations. Now, here's Tom.
I don't care whether you're hanging off the skid of a helicopter or meeting a bad guy in a dark alley. You've got to look at the sights, control the trigger, and follow through.
Look at the sights, pull the trigger, and follow through. Why did you follow through? Well, I always say you need one more sight picture than shots fired. So you bring your gun up, you got the sights, you got a good sight picture, you press the trigger, and you need another sight picture. That's called follow through. You'll find that you kind of stop doing that whole low and left thing as a right-handed shooter. It'll help anyway. If you work on your follow through, if you fire one shot, you get 2 sight pictures. You fire 2 shots, you get 3 sight pictures. You fire 3 shots, you get 4 sight pictures. You follow me? You see where I'm going here? Oh, isn't the irony delicious? Mike Johnstone, he's a sheriff in Iowa. He's famous for putting out the whole idea that shall issue concealed carry is going to lead to the Wild West shootout. I am sorry when anybody gets shot. I'm sorry when anybody shoots himself. But at the same time, he said he was cleaning his gun and shot himself in the hand. Now, if you use a Glock, you do have to pull the trigger as part of the disassembly process. You take the magazine out. Then you rack the slide. Don't get it reversed. Don't rack the slide and then take the magazine out, because you still have a fresh round in the chamber and it will go bang. Now, the other thing is, you know what? If it goes bang when you pull the trigger and you shoot yourself in the hand, you are pointing the gun at your hand. Kind of one of those 4 rules of gun safety. Remember? Don't point your gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. All guns are always loaded. me give you maybe an exercise. I like to think of gun safety as almost a religious act. It's something you do not because of what it does, but because of who you are. If you're someone who always says grace, that's because of who you are. So, are you familiar with the TV show The Big Bang Theory? Where Sheldon, the character, when he goes over to Penny's door, he knocks on the door. He's ADHD, and it goes, knock, 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 Penny, knock, 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 Penny, knock, 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 Penny. Let's apply that to unloading your semi-automatic pistol. When you take the magazine out, you always rack the slide 3 times. Take the magazine out and you go rack, rack, rack. It's like, penny, rack, 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 penny. Okay? Why would you do that? Because if you get more than one live round that comes out of the gun when you're racking the slide, something's wrong. You should get no live rounds coming out when you rack the slide. Rack it 3 times, not once, not twice, 3 times whenever you're unloading your gun. At the range, at home, no matter where you are, all the time, pointing the gun in a safe direction. Magazine out, rack the slide, rack the slide, rack the slide. Let's make sure that it's empty. And then lock it back and then look inside the gun. Look into the chamber. Make sure there's nothing in there. Maybe even run your finger up in that barrel to see if there's anything in there. Is there a cartridge stuck in there? Does that sound excessive to you? God, I hope not. Hope it sounds just right. And I am sorry that the sheriff got shot cleaning his gun at 11:30 at night. Yeah. Somebody asked, I said, well, what are you talking about? I mentioned earlier we were making shots at 1,300 yards. We went out to Oregon, got together with folks at Nosler, had a great time shooting the Nosler rifles that they build right there in America, shooting the Nosler bullets, using Nosler ammo. We shot the 26 Nosler cartridge, the 28 Nosler cartridge, and a brand new, bigger caliber. And Ryan was shooting. We were doing TV. He and Chris Serino, and they were hitting targets out at 1,300 yards, banging that steel out there. Had a ball. And then we had the pleasure to go over to Medford, Oregon, and meet with the people at Cerakote. What a great bunch of people, guys and gals there. Man, do they have a great process for treating and coating your gun. Cool designs, protects the guns, makes them run. I was so impressed. Again, an American success story. It was fun. It was just a hoot. I mean, we really had a great time out there. So one of the good things that we get to do, we are so fortunate to be able to do some of the things we do. It was just, shooting guns and spending time with good people, it just doesn't get any better than that. So I just had a great time. You will see all of this on GUNTALK Television, our show, which, by the way, is being changed a little bit because we're going to have more adventure in GUNTALK this year. We actually had a beer segment in it. No. That was not involved in the tree crashing into the car. It was, that was a different time. No. All right, 866 Talk Gun. Oh, yeah, and TV, we're going to show the tree thing. Oh, yeah, we cover the tree jumping out in front of me. Seriously, honest officer, the tree I never saw it coming. It just jumped out right there in front of me. Be right back.
A great rifle and scope won't do you any good if your mount fails. Whether it's for hunting, competition, or tactical use, Warren has a rugged, reliable scope mount for you. Warren scope mounts are the choice of top competitors and professional hunters alike. American-made quality and performance you can count on. Visit your local dealer or go to warrenscopemounts.com. WARNE scopemounts.com. Set your sights on Warren.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
Be sure to watch NRA Freedom Friday from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. with Freedom Fighters, American Air Gunner, ATSN Stop the Threat, Gun Talk TV, Championship Season, Guns and Gear TV. Watch NRA's Freedom Friday only on the Pursuit Channel, where we deliver the outdoors.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gun Dealio, the free app for your smartphone. Gun Dealio delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gun Dealio. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gun Dealio. GunDealio.com.
If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com. All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun. By the way, we're going to be doing the after show here before too long, so don't forget, if you'd like to be involved in that, all you got to do is call. We will hold you in for that. If you haven't heard the after show, shame, shame, shame on you, because you're missing out on the party. You're invited to the party. All you have to do is get your Gun Dealio app. It'll have that for you built into that. You can hear the podcast. You can hear the after show. And, of course, you can hear a lot of other ways, all the ways you can find our podcast. So check that out. Again, 866 Talk Gun gets you in here. Line 4, Justin's with us out of Amarillo, Texas. Justin, how are you?
I'm good, Tom. Well, I just wanted to offer a different perspective than what I've been hearing on open carry and get your opinion on it.
Sure.
Well, here in Texas, we're going to be getting open carry at the beginning of the year, and when I've been talking to people, I always hear them say, throw out there, well, you're going to be the first target, if you're open carrying in a robbery, or a criminal may see that you have a gun and want to take it away from you. Well, I mean, that's pretty much all I'm hearing, and I try to keep open-minded, and I like to hear different ideas. And one that I've had is, I mean, for some people, if you see a woman running down the street jogging and she's got a Doberman Pinscher with her, she's less likely to be the one grabbed by the rapist. You know what I'm saying? So if you have someone who is paying attention, looking around, doing everything they should be doing anyways, as well as open carrying, wouldn't that be more of a deterrent to being one that is attacked or one that is,
it could be. Targeted? I have a friend who's been open carrying for many years, and he tells me that on at least 3 occasions, he is absolutely certain that his store was not robbed by people who had intended to rob it because they saw him open carrying. So, yeah, that certainly is a possibility. I guess one of my concerns, Justin, is with people who are open carrying. Unfortunately, I hate to broad brush or characterize a whole group of people, but I see a lot of them using really crummy holsters. I mean, like the cheapest nylon junk that I would not give my worst enemy. I mean, if you're going to open carry your handgun, you need a retention holster. So that if somebody grabs the butt of your gun, the grip of your pistol, and yanks on it, they can pick you up off the ground, but the gun's not coming out of the holster unless they know the proper procedure for getting that thing to let go.
Right. Yeah, I agree with all that. People open carrying, they definitely have a responsibility of doing it the right way. I just always hate hearing everyone I mean, it seems like it's 100%. Oh, you should never do that. It's just a bad idea. And I mean, it's all just theories. I mean, I've never heard of any actual studies of open carriers versus concealed carriers being more or less likely of being attacked or anything like that. I mean, have you ever heard of any kind of study like that?
I don't know that there are any studies. There are some stories, and you can find them to go both ways. I guess what I would say is if you conduct yourself as a professional, if you're going to wear a gun openly, you need to treat it as a professional. You know what's happened? 10 years ago, I used to do some open carry, and it was cool, and I did that and, tried it out. But I always had good holsters and good belts and, how do I put this? Dressed good. And people say, that's bad grammar. No, I mean dressed good. Dressed like a good guy. Unfortunately, we have had some, and I just call them goofballs, who've decided they're going to open carry their AKs and their ARs. And honestly, they've messed it up for everybody. They really have. And so now the public, when they think open carry, they think of these guys in their T-shirts and their goofy shorts and boonie hats and their ARs and their wannabe attitudes messing up the public opinion for the rest of us. And so, unfortunately, the responsible people who have been open carrying for years and who might be open carrying kind of get tarred with that brush. And to your point, I always tell people, look, it's your choice. I'm not pro or anti either. For me, I've decided not to go that way for whatever number of reasons that I've looked at. I tried it, did it for a while. But, yeah, and Jim says, hey, maybe it's a good reason to open carry. Maybe you correct the image. And I know some folks, I've got some friends up in Michigan who open carry, a husband and wife, and they're forever correcting the image and they're talking it up and they're doing a good job. So maybe it's an outreach program. I don't know. But and look, Justin, I appreciate the call. Thank you for that. But it is an interesting point. I don't know if it's more or less likely to make you a target. I do know some friends who they think it has stopped or prevented a crime from happening because somebody saw that they were armed. I don't know. I guess, once again, I think we probably, as I always say, we worry about the wrong things. We tend to do that a lot. We worry about this when what we should be thinking about is, how do I get more training? How do I spend more time training? Can I allocate more time, more dollars to taking classes? Understand, when I say training, I'm not talking about practicing. I want to make sure people understand that. I'm talking about spending time with an instructor, with a trainer, in a class, whether it's a concealed carry class or it's not a concealed carry class, but sometimes it's a concealed carry class. It's a good way to start. Even if you're open carrying, I personally would say you ought to go take a concealed carry class because if nothing else, it's going to teach you what the laws are in that state, when you can and when you can't use a firearm in self-defense, what the legal ramifications are. I just think it's a good education. Then beyond that, real tactical self-defense training and ask, look, what are we going to be doing? Are we going to be moving? Is part of the class going to be moving and shooting? If it's not, it's probably not getting you where you need to go. I would try to find a class somewhere where you could be moving and shooting from behind cover, moving to cover while you're shooting, reloading from a malfunction gun. So you've got a jam in there. They actually cause your gun to jam and you have to get it clear and get back in the fight. That's really all, there's not that much to it. You just have to do it over and over again under proper supervision. Oh, one other thing. There's a reason we do this with instructors because some of this stuff can be dangerous. Do not try to teach yourself this stuff. Some of this stuff is dangerous. You need good eyes on you that says, no, wait, stop. You're actually sweeping your hand when you do that. You're actually pointing that gun at your own waist when you holster. Stop trying to speed holster. You need another set of eyes on you. That's what good trainers do. They keep you safe while you're learning this stuff. Whether you're open carrying or concealed carrying, I think you need to make the commitment to continue your training. Back with you, 866-TALK-GUN. We can still get you in if you call us right now. We're talking about safety. How were you raised as a hunter? How much was safety talked about? Was it at all? Did they just kind of everybody go out and hunt? You ever had a close call? We were talking about hunter safety earlier in the show. Also, we're talking about these long-range shooting. 1,300 yards is a poke. I mean, I'm telling you, that's, what's that, close to 3/4 of a mile? It was really interesting. When you shoot that far, you bang, ding. And the funny part is the spotter sees the hit long before you hear the ding come back, because, of course, it takes, it's like a half, it's 5 seconds for a mile for the speed of sound. Yeah, that's right. So you look at 2.5, 3 seconds after the hit before the sound comes back to you. It's pretty much fun, I got to tell you. Rifles are about precision. When you want to get seriously gun geeky, you'll get into rifles, honestly, because you can just drill down as far as you want to go with that. It's fun stuff. It really is. All right, line 1, Les is in Lucky, Louisiana. Hey, Les. Les, you there? So they say sometimes less is more. In this case, less is gone. Oh, well, it happens. So we're shooting these rifles, shooting the 26 Nosler, the 28 Nosler, and I guess we could say it's just a 30 Nosler, these big Magnum calibers. We got video of Ryan getting scoped because we're shooting slightly uphill from a prone position, which is a very bad situation. And this gun came back and caught him right in the forehead. And, of course, being the producer that I am, I said, don't wipe the blood off. We got to get the video of that. So he's bleeding all over his face, It wasn't bad. He cleaned it up and no scars. But, yeah, when you're shooting uphill or you're shooting prone and kind of trying to shoot uphill, the stock can come right off your shoulder and that gun comes back and you're shooting these Magnum calibers. Man, you'll see stars. That'll whack you. But good grief, that was fun. I was not aware that Loophole had tactical shooting, long-range shooting classes, but they do. And this facility, which we can't talk about quite yet exactly where it is, was very impressive. Let's see. It looks like we were able to get Les back in here out of Lucky, Louisiana. Hey, Les, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I hit the mute button accidentally there.
It happens.
Yeah. I heard you talking about the air rifles for training, and I just saw on Shooting Wire that SIG is selling CO2 pistols that are copies of the 226 and the P250. I looked it up, and it's right there. And I'm going to order one of the P250s, which I'm dry firing right now.
Let's make sure that it's empty while we're doing that. We don't want any extra loud noises here, but very good. I love the idea of getting a pellet gun, BB gun, even an airsoft gun that is a duplicate of your carry gun, so you can practice your manipulations, your drawing, trigger press, and do it in slow motion. Really drive home the movements. You're not trying to get fast. You're trying to get smooth, and doing that with an air gun. Of course, a blue gun works great also. One of the things I find is that a lot of people, they don't holster safely. They'll tilt their gun out, point the muzzle toward their waist while they're hunting around for that holster. You need to practice in slow motion, bringing that gun back with the muzzle pointing straight out. The muzzle goes straight down, and it comes back and goes straight in the holster, and it never tilts towards your body. And your left hand, if you're shooting right-handed, your left hand never comes and gets in the way of the gun. All righty, if you're not going to be joining us for the after show, here is my Christmas wish for you. Safety and love for your family. If there's somebody in your life who you've lost touch with, you got an argument, you're holding on to a grudge, forget it. That stuff is meaningless. Call that person, bring it up, let's get together again. In the meantime, be safe and Merry Christmas.